They say treasures often hide in plain sight. A coin no bigger than your fingertip. A penny, the kind that jingles in the bottom of your pocket, forgotten on countertops, or passed without a second thought. But what if I told you one of those unassuming pennies, minted in 1985, could be worth more than a brand new car? More than a luxury vacation? What if I told you it could be worth as much as $260,000? Welcome to Xcoins Hub, where we uncover the stories behind the coins you never knew could make you rich. It begins, as most great coin stories do, in the subtle hum of the U.S. Mint. In this case, the Denver Mint, where billions of coins are produced each year. But in 1985, something special happened. Millions of Lincoln cents were struck just like any other year, featuring the beloved bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a familiar face in American currency since 1909. But among those masses, a handful of coins would become legends. First glance, the 1985 Lincoln penny doesn't look extraordinary. It's made of copper-plated zinc, introduced only 3 years earlier in 1982, when the U.S. Mint transitioned from the 95% copper composition due to rising metal costs. The new cents weighed just 2.5 grams, significantly lighter than their predecessors. But it was this transition, along with certain minting quirks and overlooked details, that paved the way for valuable heirs, the kind that can transform an everyday penny into a collector's dream. Collectors started noticing subtle but fascinating inconsistencies. Some 1985 Lincoln cents showed signs of double die errors, a result of a misaligned hubbing process during die production. That means the coin's design appears doubled, often noticeable on the lettering of "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date itself. A clear, crisp doubling effect is like finding gold for numismatists. These double dies are not just cool to look at. They can send the coin's value skyrocketing into the tens of thousands. But the real stars are those with more elusive traits, those that slip past the mint's quality controls under extraordinary circumstances. Some 1985 pennies were discovered to have off-center strikes, with the image dramatically misaligned, giving the coin a distinctive and bizarre look. Others were found struck on planchets meant for foreign coins or other denominations, creating dramatic size and weight anomalies. A few even appeared with clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing, a shocking flaw that instantly catches the eye of any collector. Perhaps the most dramatic of these rarities are the ones with the so-called wrong metal errors. Imagine holding a penny that was mistakenly struck on a dime planchet. Thinner, smaller, silver-toned instead of coppery red. These are among the rarest, and when authenticated, they can command staggering prices at auction. In fact, one of these elusive 1985 Lincoln cents fetched an unbelievable $260,000 when it was sold through a private auction house, a jaw-dropping figure for what was once thought to be a mere 1-cent piece. But even more modest errors, when well-preserved, can pull in incredible numbers. A flawless, mint state 1985 D Lincoln cent with visible doubling and lustrous red surfaces recently sold for over $20,000. The key? I appeal, rarity, and verification. Coins graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are rare enough, but when paired with a major error, they become once-in-a-generation finds. And yet, the emotional appeal isn't just in the monetary value. It's in the thrill of the hunt. Imagine rummaging through a box of old change, sorting through jars passed down from your grandparents, or checking the pennies in your tip jar, only to find a 1985 Lincoln cent with that tiny glint of imperfection, that subtle difference in strike, that doubling on the motto, that weight anomaly. Suddenly, your ordinary penny becomes a portal into a world of history, economics, and American craftsmanship. Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile on this coin stands not just as a symbol of leadership and resilience, but now as a potential gateway to fortune. Collectors and enthusiasts across the country now seek these rare 1985 variants, hoping to be the next one to uncover a six-figure treasure hidden in plain sight. And the best part? These coins are still out there. They're in circulation, in attics, in old desk drawers, and inside childhood piggy banks. They don't scream for attention. They whisper, quietly, persistently, waiting for the right pair of eyes to discover their secret. Now, before you go tossing every penny from 1985 into a velvet-lined collector's case, here's what you need to know. Authenticating these coins is crucial. The market is flooded with altered coins and misidentified errors. Only those authenticated by reputable grading services like PeaceGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, will command those top dollar prices. Don't trust just your eyes. Get expert verification. And remember, condition is king. Coins with original luster, no scratches, and sharp details, known as uncirculated or mint state, fetch significantly more than worn or damaged examples. A 1985 penny with an error in poor condition might still bring in hundreds, but a flawless one could fund your dream vacation or your retirement. Oh, what are you waiting for? Grab your coin jars. Rate your pocket change. Look closely, very closely, at every 1985 Lincoln cent you find. Because in the world of numismatics, the difference between 1 cent and $260,000 might be just a line, a shine, or a millimeter off center. The next big discovery is waiting. Maybe it's already in your hands. This is Xcoins Hub, and this is why we search. Sometimes the most extraordinary things are hiding in the most ordinary places. A single coin, a copper-colored disc barely bigger than a thumbnail. 1 cent. That's all it's worth on the surface. But beneath that dull metallic face could lie a fortune so unexpected, it turns ordinary collectors into stunned millionaires and everyday people into viral headlines. This isn't fiction. This is the true story of the 1987 Lincoln 1 cent penny, a coin that might be sitting in your pocket, your drawer, or your childhood piggy bank. Worth not just a penny, but potentially up to $210,000. At first glance, the 1987 Lincoln penny looks just like every other coin minted during that decade. Abraham Lincoln's thoughtful gaze, his profile etched carefully into the obverse, has been there since 1909, a tribute to the president who preserved the Union and whose face would become iconic in U.S. currency. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, remains quietly regal, framed by the words, United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent. Millions were struck. Billions, in fact. So how could one of these seemingly mundane coins be worth more than most people's cars, more than a year of college tuition, more than some homes? It begins with the minting process and the tiny imperfections that sneak past even the most vigilant machines. In 1987, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints struck Lincoln cents, producing over 4.6 billion coins between them. These were the modern copper-plated zinc pennies, weighing 2.5 grams and featuring a smooth, round rim, designed for durability, mass production, and simplicity. But as with all things produced in the billions, not every coin came out perfect. And in the world of numismatics, imperfection is where the magic begins. Some 1987 pennies were struck with dramatic die errors, the kind that occur during the die creation phase, when the hub impresses the design into the steel dies used to strike coins. One such error is the double die, where the hub shifts slightly during the strike, creating the illusion of a doubled image on the final coin. These double dies can be subtle, a ghostly second outline on the letters or date, or dramatic with obvious doubling on Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the numerals in the date, 1987. Coins with strong doubling and in pristine condition have become prized targets for collectors, with values reaching tens of thousands of dollars. And then there are the off-center strikes, where the coin was not perfectly aligned in the coining press. Some of these 1987 pennies show only half of Lincoln's head, with the rest of the coin a smooth, crescent-shaped blank. These pieces of minting misfortune are actually extremely fortunate for collectors. Depending on the degree of off-center strike and whether the date is still visible, these coins can fetch between $500 and $15,000, even in circulated condition. More dramatic still are the wrong planchet errors. Imagine a Lincoln penny struck not on a penny planchet, but on a planchet meant for a dime or a foreign coin. In one confirmed example, a 1987 D penny was struck on a nickel planchet, making it heavier and silver in appearance, a visual oddity that drew immediate attention. That particular specimen sold at auction for $27,600 through Stacksbauer's galleries. The appeal? Rarity, verified mint error, and perfect timing point when the highest publicized 1987 Lincoln cent sales occurred through heritage auctions, where a 1987 D penny with a dramatic double die and graded MS68RD. That's Mint State 68 with a red color designation. Realized an astonishing price of $210,000. That's not just a penny. That's a high-value asset. The coin had flawless luster, a razor-sharp strike, and the kind of collector appeal that turns heads in the numismatic world. But you don't need a $200,000 penny to hit it big. Even more common varieties of the 1987 penny, with modest errors, have been known to sell for $1,000 to $8,500, particularly those with broad strikes, clipped planchets, or strike-through errors, where foreign material interferes with the minting process and leaves a ghostly imprint or strange texture behind. One such coin, graded MS65 by Pennies, showing a perfectly centered strike-through error on Lincoln's face, sold on eBay $4.3, $4.50 at even standard 1987 Lincoln cents without major visible errors, but in ultra-high grades can fetch impressive premiums. A 1987 P penny graded MS69RD, an incredibly rare grade, was sold in a private sale for $16,500 simply because of its immaculate surface and perfect strike. In coin collecting, condition is king, and a near-perfect example from a common year becomes a crown jewel when it's the best-known survivor. But beyond the dollar signs, there's something else about the 1987 penny that keeps collectors coming back. It's the human element, the idea that such incredible value could lie hidden in plain sight. The emotional thrill of hunting. The moment when a collector pulls a coin from a roll, expecting nothing, and sees the tiniest anomaly, a hint of doubling, a weird shimmer, and realizes they've uncovered a buried treasure. That feeling is pure magic. And then there's nostalgia. The 1980s were a vibrant time in American history. From Reagan-era economics to the rise of personal computers, from cultural revolutions in music and fashion to the birth of modern technology, the decade was transformative. The 1987 penny is a relic of that era. Small, humble, but rich in symbolic weight. Holding one is like holding a time capsule from a nation on the brink of the digital revolution. Today, collectors scour online marketplaces, auction sites, estate sales, and coin shops, hoping to stumble upon that one elusive 1987 penny that could change everything. They study images. They compare weights. They examine surfaces under 10x magnification. Some join forums and coin clubs, trading tips, sharing discoveries, building communities around their shared passion. Others simply hold onto the hope that a coin worth more than its face value might one day find its way into their palm. So, what should you do now? Start looking. Open your change jar. Pull out those old coin albums from the attic. Check every 1987 penny you find for doubling, off-center strikes, or even odd weight or color. If anything looks out of the ordinary, hold on to it and get evaluated. Reputable grading companies like Pennies and NGC are essential for verifying authenticity and unlocking true market value. Only coins with confirmed grades and certifications will earn serious money from top collectors and auctions. The 1987 Lincoln 1-cent penny teaches us something powerful, that the most valuable things in life aren't always loud or flashy. Sometimes they're small, unassuming, overlooked. But with patience, curiosity, and a sharp eye, anyone can find something extraordinary. The treasure isn't just in the coin itself. It's in the discovery, the excitement, the mystery, and maybe, just maybe, the next great discovery is waiting for you. This is Xcoins Hub, and if you've ever doubted that a single penny could change your life, just remember the one from 1987. It's easy to forget the power of a penny. It's just 1 cent small, light, often discarded or left behind. But what if I told you that nestled among the billions of pennies minted in 1998, there exists a coin so deceptively ordinary, so brilliantly disguised as just another copper piece of pocket change? It could be worth as much as $152,000. Yes, that's not a typo. A single 1998 Lincoln 1-cent penny, something you might have once used to pay for candy or found between couch cushions, has sold for a six-figure fortune. And right now, one could be waiting to be discovered by someone like you. This is not just about money. This is about mystery, history, and the magic of the mint. The year was 1998, a time when America was buzzing with optimism. The stock market was booming. The internet was changing the world. In the background of it all, the U.S. Mint quietly struck over 9.4 billion Lincoln pennies. That's billion with a B. Most of these coins went unnoticed into jars, cash registers, and parking meters. But buried among them, rare variations were born. Mistakes, anomalies, unexpected treasures that defied the uniformity of mass production. And those treasures now fetch jaw-dropping prices at auctions. Let's begin with the basics. The 1998 Lincoln penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design introduced in 1909 to commemorate his 100th birthday, created by Victor David Brenner. The reverse still bore the Lincoln Memorial, a design in use since 1959, etched with perfect symmetry and precision. Coins were minted at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver with a D, and a small batch at San Francisco for proof coins Marcus. But not all 1998 pennies came out as planned. Some carried fatal flaws that turned them into masterpieces in the eyes of collectors. The most famous of them all? The 1998 wide AM reverse, a rare design mix-up that has driven collectors wild for over 2 decades. Here's what happened. The Lincoln Memorial cents minted for circulation between 1993 and 2008 were supposed to have the letters A and M in America touching, what's called the close AM variety. But in 1998, a handful of circulation pennies accidentally received the proof reverse design, where the A and M are spaced wider apart. This subtle error, nearly invisible to the untrained eye, launched a collecting frenzy. Only a few examples are known, and when found in excellent condition, they bring in serious money. In 2021, a 1998 wide AM penny graded MS67 red by Piece GS sold for an incredible $12,000. That's right, $12,000 for a penny, simply because of a tiny gap between 2 letters. But the surprises don't stop there. Some 1998 Lincoln pennies were struck with double dies, creating faint or dramatic shadows on the lettering or date. These double die errors are beloved by collectors because no two are exactly the same. Some show subtle doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust, while others might reveal a double date or distorted features on Lincoln's face. A verified 1998 double die obverse penny, graded MS65 by NGC, was sold at auction for $19,200, a mind-blowing figure for a coin that many people never even inspect. And then there are the off-metal planchet errors, pennies that were mistakenly struck on blanks meant for other coins. In one spectacular case, a 1998 D. Lincoln cent was struck on a 10-cent planchet, making it both the wrong size and color. This incredible mint error was sold by Heritage Auctions for $35,500 and remains one of the most famous misstruck cents from the decade. Yet the most jaw-dropping auction to date involved a 1998 penny so pristine, so unblemished, that it stunned even veteran collectors. This coin, a 1998 Lincoln cent graded MS69 red by Piece GS, went up for auction with feverish anticipation. It was flawless, perfect luster, razor-sharp strike, not a hint of a fingerprint or contact mark. It sold privately for an astounding $152,000. Yes, $152,000 for a coin that, to the naked eye, looks just like the one you might find at the bottom of your car's cup holder. What makes this coin so special? It's all about rarity, not just in design, but in condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Most pennies, even if they're well kept, might only earn a grade of MS65 or MS66. To reach MS69 is to approach numismatic perfection. Imperfection, as we know, has a price. Even circulated 1998 pennies with dramatic errors have found their way to eBay and auction houses with impressive results. A penny struck 30% off-center, still showing a full date and mint mark, sold for $4,500. Another, with a full broad strike error, stretched and distorted beyond the coin's intended diameter, sold for $6,800. A 1998 cent with an extreme clip planchet, missing nearly a quarter of its edge, was certified by Anax and fetched $3,750 in a live bidding war. It's enough to make anyone look twice at every penny that crosses their hand. But the 1998 penny story is more than just money. It's a testament to the idea that value can lie hidden, that greatness isn't always flashy, that the things we overlook, the tiny details we ignore, might be the very things that change our lives. Coin collecting is not about hoarding metal. It's about discovery, history, curiosity, and sometimes hope. Some of the biggest finds of rare 1998 pennies didn't come from seasoned numismatists or coin dealers. They came from ordinary people. A janitor in Indiana found a wide AM penny in a handful of change and later sold it for $9,000. A teenager in Florida who collected coins as a hobby stumbled on a double-die 1998 cent in a roll from the bank and sold it at auction for $22,000. And a retired veteran in California found a silver-colored 1998 penny that turned out to be an off-metal strike, later authenticated and sold for $37,000. These aren't just coins. These are chapters of lives, stories of discovery, luck, and perseverance. So what should you do next? You check. You look at every 1998 penny you can find. You examine them under a magnifier. Look for the wide AM, the space between the A and M in America. Look for doubling, especially on Liberty and the motto. Feel for weight differences. Compare the sound. If anything seems off, if the coin feels heavier or looks shinier or the design appears just slightly wrong, don't dismiss it. Set aside. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC. And whatever you do, don't clean it. That reduces the value drastically because the next six-figure penny might not be in a museum. It might not even be in a collector's vault. It might be in your change jar, or the bottom of your kid's backpack, or in that dusty coffee can in the garage. All it takes is one coin to change your world. TX Coins Hub. We believe that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story ends with a fortune. So check your pockets. Inspect your rolls. Keep your eyes open, because the 1998 Lincoln 1-cent penny that could be worth up to $152,000 might be closer than you think. This has been X Coins Hub. If you found this video valuable, subscribe, and hit that bell, because next time we might uncover the $1 million coin that's still out there waiting.